Yeah.
Back at it, week 16. Straight no chase.
Episode 17 to be exact. How you feeling, Richard, after this week?
You know, my Niners 10-4. Four-game win streak.
Would it matter?
You know, we come off a bye week into another bye week, better known as the Tennessee Titans. Go ahead, check them off, win the circle. One game away from number one seed in the NFC.
Wait. Hold on. This is in. It was a shootout in San Francisco. Brock Purdy got out alive.
We were up 31-10.
The final score was what, though?
37-23. 13 points.
24.
We covered the spread. 37-24. We covered the spread.
Still. I mean, it was a shootout. Y'all good? Y'all made it out alive?
We are good, but I'm going to tell you who's not. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Facts. Or the Packers.
This is an end of an era. Patrick Mahomes tearing his ACL.
Unfortunate.
Definitely unfortunate. Hope he recovers. He's the face of the league. One of the greatest players at the position the game has ever seen. So definitely wish him speedy and healthy recovery.
Same with Micah Parsons.
Same with Micah Parsons. But just real quick about the Chiefs. Chiefs fans, you are getting ready to see how hard it is to win in the NFL. Right? Because they've been spoiled by their own success in the Patrick Mahomes era. 7 consecutive seasons, making it to at least the AFC Championship. Never experienced what they're getting ready to go through, not making the playoffs. You tear your ACL in December, chances are you're going to miss the better part of next year as well. So AFC is up for grabs this postseason and more than likely next postseason. And when you take into account Travis Kelce's been in the league 12, 13 years, somewhere around there. Andy Reid has been coaching for quite some time. There is going to come a time soon where Kelce and Reid will be gone. Mahomes will still be there, rebuilding by himself without the guys he has grown accustomed to going to battle with. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out.
Yeah, this Kansas City team is reminiscent of when Tom Brady tore his ACL. It took Tom Brady another 10 years to win, and his 4th ring to be exact. But I think what the Chiefs fans have been, they have been spoilers of the moment. They have thought, pretty much, for lack of better terms, they have been spoiled fan base. It's hard, extremely hard, to not go to not just 1, 2, 3 Super Bowls in a row. Win 2 out of the 3. On top of that,
5 Super Bowls in 7 years.
And have how many AFC Championship appearances?
7 consecutive. The streak ends now when they've been eliminated from the playoffs this season.
And that's just unheard of. So now you're about to see, to your point, Richard, how hard it is to win in the NFL. And then teams get to pick up on your tendencies. Teams pick up on your habits, your play style, what plays are you going to call in certain moments. And I think, fortunately for the NFL, the Lord has blessed us with my Philadelphia Eagles to expose the Chiefs and how to beat them, put the blueprint out on how to beat them.
Hang on to that victory. Please.
I will, because you don't have anything to hang on to in the past 30-plus years.
The one thing about, paralleling Tom Brady's career, Brady won 3 rings very quick.
Facts.
2001, 2003, 2004.
Facts.
Mahomes, very similar. 19, 22, 23. Mm-hmm. Brady went 10 years in between rings 3 and 4.
Right.
Not saying Mahomes is going to go a decade, but he's absolutely, him and the Chiefs, the drought begins. Mm-hmm. It starts now. Well, in terms of winning Super Bowls, it started last year with their loss to you all. So this will be the 2nd year in a row they don't win the Super Bowl. Next year will be the 3rd year. Mm-hmm. So the drought is here. Now, switching gears to Micah Parsons, torn ACL. When they acquired him via trade from the Cowboys, I said on paper they were the biggest threat to the Eagles. They appeared to be that. all year long, playing relatively tough football. They're currently 9-4-1. Can they advance to the Super Bowl? Can they get out of the NFC without Micah Parsons?
No.
Why not?
I feel like just having Rashawn Gary on your defensive line is not enough. You already got rid of, you traded for Micah Parsons, nose tackle.
Kenny Clark?
Kenny Clark. That was by far, my opinion, your best interior defensive lineman. Even though they have a couple young players that's playing well, they're not Kenny Clark. And then Michael Parsons is by far one of the best pass rushers in the league, especially this season.
Top 3 edge rusher in the league, I would say.
Just having Rashawn Gary and then occasionally having maybe like a Quay Walker blitzing is not going to be formidable or a threat to any offense, in my opinion, in the playoffs.
And when you lose somebody the caliber of Micah Parsons, it's not just, you don't just feel the loss on the field, right? There's a certain level of confidence your mere presence allows everyone in the organization to have when we know we have one of the absolute best players in all of football, especially defensively, on our team. Even when he's not making plays, his presence creates opportunities for other guys to make plays because he commands so much attention. Double teams, triple teams, which results in everybody else being blocked one-on-one.
Facts.
All of that's out the window now. There's nobody to double. There's nobody to triple. There's nobody pre-snap, I got to know where this guy is. No, I don't. I need to know where number 1 is, and now I know where he is on the sideline.
And if you want to be technical, if you look at the games last year with the Packers without Micah Parsons, it's a night and day difference. Their defense, the only thing they were really extremely good at was having like a guy like Xavier McKinney leading the league in interceptions. Outside of that, they were not a threat at all. Like, seriously. With that game, and not to toot my own team's horn, but last year when we beat them in the playoffs, there was no defensive threat. It never felt like the Eagles were out of control of that game in the playoffs last year. And so now without Micah Parsons, my fear for them is when you go against a team like the Bears this week, or a team like maybe the Lions again, because I think they play them one more time.
They play the Bears again. We have to look at it. They already played the Lions twice.
Yeah.
Maybe the Vikings. They probably got a couple more.
But playing teams with high-powered offense and explosive running games, and not having a Micah Parsons on one side and Rashawn Gary on another, it's nothing to be afraid of.
You're going to see now how good the secondary is, because a premier pass rush will mask deficiencies in your secondary when the quarterback doesn't have time to get rid of the ball. No Micah Parsons now, every opposing quarterback they face for the rest of the season and into the playoffs, you're going to have an extra half a second to a full second to scan the field. So now my defenders got to defend that much longer. And when you're guarding NFL caliber wide receivers, that just increases the probability that somebody gets open times however many passing plays in the game. 30, 40, 50.
Right.
That's a problem.
Right. I agree. Let's move on. Biggest surprise and biggest disappointment this year for you?
The biggest surprise for me will be the New England Patriots.
Why?
It's Back to the Future. I watched the New England Patriots, and what I see is the 2001 version. The team that won the Super Bowl prior to Tom Brady being a household name. That 01 team, they played tough defense, and most importantly, they did not beat themselves. They did not make mistakes. They don't turn the football over. I watched this year's version of the Patriots. They play tough defense, and they don't beat themselves. Like, that was like the foundation of the Brady Belichick dynasty. And you see residue of the dynasty in this Mike Vrabel coach football team. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. So my most surprising team in NFL this year, New England Patriots.
For me, the biggest surprise is the Broncos. The Broncos, I want to say right now, on like a 10, 11 game winning streak.
It's crazy. They due for a loss.
They definitely are. Obviously, they've beat my Eagles. They were down in that game 17-3. They just showed a lot of grit. They've beat some tough teams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chargers.
They came back down 26 or something crazy against the Giants, some NFL record.
Yeah. So, saying that to say, like, they have been extremely impressive. Just seeing, I didn't watch much Broncos football before the season. Last year, I watched the playoffs, and I just saw a team last year that was extremely young, that didn't have much experience as far as playoffs are concerned. Sean Payton was kind of getting back in the swing of things of being a head coach, and actually having a quarterback that he wanted in the playoffs. And I think now they have something to prove. Even though I really think in order for them to go where they want to go this season, I think they have to have one more regular season loss and not have that loss in playoffs.
I agree 100%. They need a loss to kind of reset themselves. They're not going to run the table and go on a 15, 16 game win streak and win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think the playoff experience last year will help them. They're learning how to win. Do they have enough to win the Super Bowl? Do they have enough specifically on offense? Because they have a championship defense. Their defense is tough. Can they make enough plays offensively in the playoffs against other teams that are just as good as they are?
I think it's possible. Reason why I say that is because I'm not going to say it's impossible. Because when you look back on Super Bowl teams, like we had this conversation before, I don't know if it's on air or off the air. So many teams that you look at that have won the Super Bowl don't have like household first ballot Hall of Fame names. You look at guys who have made plays in the past, like a Plexico Burress, like a Santonio Holmes, like
Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. You're right. Go ahead. You walked into that one. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry. You just mentioned a couple All-Pros and a Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, we're not talking about those type of guys because those guys win on a regular basis. I'm talking about the guys who are more so not the household names, like a Cortland Sutton, like a Ricky Pearsall, like a Brock Purdy. You get what I'm saying? Guys like that that have no accolades in the NFL. Those are the guys I'm referring to. But I'm saying they can make plays. If they need to be called on, I think the Broncos could have guys like Cortland Sutton, guys like Mims, guys like Harvey to make plays in the playoffs in order to get them over the hump. But we both agreed on, I think they need to have one more in-season loss to reset them. Now, who's your most disappointing team?
Had a couple teams in mind. I thought about the Bengals. I thought about the Commanders. But I'm not going to say they're the most disappointing team because their franchise quarterback sustained injury, both teams. Mm-hmm. I look at the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
And I'm looking at Jared Goff being healthy all season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Jahmyr Gibbs being healthy all season. Mm-hmm. David Montgomery. Jameson Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown, little ankle injury. Now, I will say Sam Laporta losing him for the season a few weeks back. Tough loss, but not comparable to a Joe Burrow or Jaden Daniels. Like, not even close. 15-2 last year, Detroit Lions. Number 1 seed in the playoffs. First round bye. Punched them out by the Washington Commanders last season. Right now, they're 8-6. They are the 8th seed. That means they don't make the playoffs because only the top 7 go. If they don't make the playoffs, they are absolutely the most disappointing team in the NFL this season, in my opinion. when you consider
even
of all the teams who are in the conversation, the Detroit Lions have been the healthiest.
even without Kirby Joseph.
Even without Kirby Joseph.
Okay.
I'm going Detroit Lions because beginning of the season, if we had said the Detroit Lions wouldn't make the playoffs,
nobody would believe that.
yeah. And right now, they're 8-6 on the outside looking in, with their real playoff berth being taken by a team in their own division. The Bears, right now. Preseason, we figured the two teams would come out the North. We figured those two teams would be the Packers and the Lions. Nobody had the Bears making the playoffs. So, in essence, the Bears are taking the Lions spot. Who's your most disappointing team this season and why?
I would say the Kansas City Chiefs. Anytime when you're in the Super Bowl, the year prior, I'm not talking about the rest of the years, with all those wins and crazy stats of going to the AFC Championship 7 times in a row, stuff like that. I'm just talking simply off of this season alone. You have Mahomes, who is healthy for the most part. You have Travis Kelce, who's healthy for the most part. I give you the Rashee Rice suspended for 6 games. I get that. You had most of your weapons. You had Hollywood Brown. You had Xavier Worthy. Even though Xavier Worthy had that shoulder injury for a little while, you still have most of your weapons. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, same exact defense. Spagnolia, who is, in my opinion, by far, outside of my guy, Vic Fangio, is one of the greatest defensive minds of the game today.
Robert Sala's tough, too.
Sure. Anyway, my point is, I'm talking about guys who actually win Super Bowls, not almost. My point is that you had no excuse. You have a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback and tight end and head coach in Andy Reid, and you don't make the playoffs? That's extremely disappointing. Yes,
I would agree.
My honorable mentions are the Commanders and the Bengals, because the Commanders just went to the NFC Championship. Yeah, they got their head knocked up the side of their head, but you had everything. I called in the beginning of the season. I said, I don't see this team winning 6 games. I called that.
Going back to the Chiefs real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like the front office, the general manager, has been spoiled by the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, and has that manifested itself in them not doing as much as they could have in the offseason, during the season before the trade deadline, to give him more weapons? Because Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, solid performers, they're not Tyreek Hill. And while the Chiefs went back-to-back in 22 and 23 without Tyreek Hill, the offense has looked vastly different since his departure. And it's like, at what point do you try to get more weapons? So Mahomes, he had the most rushing yards of his career this year, and he probably was close to the team lead in rushing. That's a problem. And that's evidence of him trying to do too much, because the supporting cast doesn't look how it used to look.
I agree. I just feel like Mahomes, he did all he could.
I would agree with that.
I think the GM did all he could. Reason why I say that is just
I
because,
agree with that.
I mean, you just went to the Super Bowl with the same exact team, pretty much. Granted, you got blown out in the Super Bowl, but it was just like what more does he need? What more does Patrick Mahomes need? Outside of a running back, what more does he need to win?
When you're down 34-0 in the Super Bowl, that should prompt some reflection about making some changes, right? You lose that bad in the Super Bowl, and to your point, you pretty much put the same team on the field this year. To me, you got to make some sort of adjustments.
And that comes
personnel.
That also comes in the scheme as well, and being too predictable. Because I think that was another issue that the Chiefs had this year that nobody talked about. But I digress. Let's get to the pick, shall we?
Let's do it.
Game 1. We have the Seahawks and the Rams. Seahawks will be hosting the Rams. Who do you like and why?
Well, seeing as though with a Seahawks win and a 49ers win, we move from the 6 seed to the 1 seed. I'd like to see that come to fruition. So call it wishful thinking, call it a hunch, call it whatever you want. I'm going with the Seahawks. I need the Rams to lose.
I like the Rams. I think the Rams are just the better.
Of course you do.
Rams are just the better team. My opinion. Next game, we have my Philadelphia Eagles. I will be at that game on Saturday, visiting the Washington Commanders. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll be at the game?
Yes.
Hopefully the Eagles show up.
They will.
I foresee them splitting with the Commanders, but I'll give the Eagles this one. Maybe I'll pick the Commanders in the season finale. I'm going with the Eagles for this game.
We're going to win. I like my Eagles. Next game, that same Saturday, we have the Packers visiting the Bears. Saturday night football. I'm going with the Bears.
All signs point toward the Bears winning this game. No Micah Parsons, Soldier Field, division on the line.
They already lost once.
I like the Bears.
Next game, we have the Bucks visiting the Panthers. Who do you like and why?
NFC South division championship on the line. I think these two teams play twice in the next 3 weeks. I'm going to give round 1 to the Panthers. I think the Panthers are playing better football. I think since the Bucks have been 5-1, they have been like one of the worst teams in the league. I'm going to go with the Panthers this go round. Round 1 to the Panthers.
I like the Bucks. Both teams are 7-7. I just feel like the Bucks have the better talent on the field. But hopefully that doesn't mean anything if they don't show up.
I agree with that. I can go with that.
I like the Bucks.
Regarding them being the more talented team, but I think the Panthers get the W.
Next game, we have the Bills visiting the Cleveland Browns. I like the Bills. I don't think this game will be close.
Trap game for the Bills coming off an emotional comeback victory against the division-leading Patriots. Puts the Bills back in contention to win the AFC East. Even though it's a trap game, I'm going with the Bills. I would like to see Myles Garrett break the sack record. So rooting for him to break that record, but I'm going with the Bills as far as the winning team.
Next game, we have the Chargers visiting the Cowboys. I like the Chargers. I just think they're the better team. I think the Cowboys will know Sunday that their season's over. I think they'll fight hard, but I think it won't be enough against the Chargers. They're just the better team.
Cowboys gave us a glimmer of hope with the 2-game win streak with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Reality has begun to set in. They won't be going to the playoffs. You can stick a fork in them and take them out of the oven Sunday.
Next game, we have the Jets visiting the Saints. I like the Saints. I think they play tough. I think next year, hopefully, if they get a quarterback, they should be a little better, which is not saying much because the division is trash. I like the Saints in this game.
I'm going with the Saints as well. Recently beat the Panthers and the Bucks. If you can beat them, you can beat the Jets, especially at home. I'm going with the Saints.
Next game, we had the Vikings visiting the G-Men. That was a good impression of you. I like the Vikings.
Not quite.
I like the Vikings.
You're the C for effort. I'm going with the Vikings as well. I think the Giants, they've played tough. They are a tough out, but they are an out nonetheless. So I'm going with the Vikings.
Next game, we have the Bengals visiting the Dolphins.
In the Who Gives a Bowl.
I like the Bengals.
When I flipped the coin this morning and landed on tails, that means I'm picking the Bengals too.
Next game, we got the Falcons visiting the Cardinals. Who do you like and why?
I'm going to go with the Falcons. Want to see my man Bijan do his thing. Get some touches. I'm going to have to snatch him up on fantasy next year. Cardinals, enough said. I'm going with the Falcons.
I like the Falcons as well. I just think they have better weapons, the better team, even though both of the teams won't be in the playoffs.
Tell them stop copying my homework, America.
I mean, I'm not this real see real recognize real. Next game we had the Jaguars visiting the Broncos. I think the Broncos are due for a loss, and I think it's going to come against this Jaguars team. They caught a couple teams lacking the season. They're one of the reasons why the Chiefs won't be in the playoffs. I think they're going to help the Broncos come back down to earth for a split second. I like the Jags.
Shout outs to Trevor Lawrence. Lit it up this past week. 330 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm going with the Jags as well. I picked the Packers last week to beat the Broncos. I'm picking the Jags. If I'm the Broncos, I want another regular season loss in preparation for the playoffs. So we're going to help that along. I'm going with the Jags.
Next game, we had the Steelers visiting the Lions. I like the Lions. I think they're going to find a way to win this game. I just think they're the better overall team, better overall offense.
Aaron Rodgers not only had the best game of his tenure with the Steelers, his completion percentage was the highest it's been in over a decade. So he might be hitting his stride. I just said the Lions was the most disappointing team. They're due for a win. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions.
Next game, we have the Raiders visiting the Texans. Who do you like and why?
Texans are primed for a playoff push. It looks like they're going to get in the playoffs. Can't imagine they're going to slip up against the Raiders. I mean, everybody beats the Raiders. Even you all got to win last week against the Raiders. So if you all can beat them, certainly the Texans can.
I like the Texans. We're just going to let this man talk. Next game, we have the Patriots and the Ravens on Sunday Night Football in Baltimore. I might be in attendance to that game, too, because why not?
Patriots,
I like the
Ravens.
Ravens.
Sunday night in December with playoff implications. It's like old school Brady, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, except none of them will be playing. I'm going to go with the Patriots because the Ravens, I don't know. I just don't know. They looking real Dow Jones-ish. 1 minute they up, the next minute they down. Who knows? I think this is a down week. Patriots.
In the final game, we have the 49ers and the Colts.
Old man Rivers, you should have stayed on the couch. Because my 49ers not going like that, Slim. We 10-4. We got the number 1 seed and the bye week in our sights. Just need a little help from the Seahawks. We probably going to run the table. If you watch the game against the Seahawks, as soon as Rivers had to push the ball down the field, game was over. Admirable that he came back, but they are now restricted with their offense. As soon as they go down more than 2 scores, that's it, because you're one-dimensional. And you can't give Jonathan Taylor the ball every play. At some point, Phillip Rivers is going to have to make a play, and that won't be happening Monday night against my 49ers. 49ers 11-4.
I like the Colts. You'll see.
That just goes to show you how much you hate my 49ers.
Like you hate my Eagles.
Because you wouldn't pick the Colts to beat anyone else with a 44-year-old quarterback.
I would.
That came out of retirement after 5 years.
I would.
Right.
I would pick them to beat y'all, the Jets, the Saints, and any other team who doesn't have a winning record. Even the Commanders. Hashtag, I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
I don't know how you threw the Commanders in there. We was talking about 49ers Colts.
Anyway, that's all we got for y'all this week. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe.
We appreciate the love and support. We appreciate the feedback. We'll see y'all next Tuesday when my 49ers will go from the 6th seed to the 1 seed.
And then he woke up. Peace.